USCIS approval rates dropped sharply in 2025. What's really going on? Imagine this. Thousands of immigrants checking their USCIS case status every morning, hoping to see one word, approved. But this quarter, many saw something different, request for evidence, or denied. The numbers are in, and they tell a story few were ready for. Today, we reveal what's really happening behind the scenes at USCIS in 2025. Understanding the new data. The third quarter data for fiscal year 2025 is now public, and it paints a complex picture. Approval rates for both EB2 NIW and EB-1A have fallen to their lowest levels in recent years, just 54% for EB-2 NIW and 67% for EB-1A. To put that into perspective, just a couple of years ago, these figures hovered near 78% and 73% respectively. This marks a significant downward shift, and it's forcing applicants, attorneys, and policy analysts to question what's driving the trend. EB2 NIW and EB-1A, the comparison. Historically, EB2 NIW has been considered easier to obtain because it focuses on contributions to the U.S. national interest rather than extraordinary individual achievements. But this quarter, that logic flipped. EB2 NIW approval rates dipped sharply, falling well below EB-1A for the first time since late 2023. This sudden reversal suggests either a policy tightening, stricter adjudication standards, or a surge in weaker self-prepared petitions. Officers may now be applying higher scrutiny to determine whether applicants truly qualify for the national interest waiver. What's behind the decline? Multiple factors seem to be shaping this shift. First, the Trump administration's internal review directives have increased oversight of employment-based immigrant categories. Officers are being urged to conduct deeper evaluations before granting approvals. Second, there's been an uptick in RFEs, requests for evidence, especially for EB2 NIW applicants missing detailed project descriptions, publication impact, or letters of support that align with the proposed endeavor. Third, backlogs and quotas remain unchanged. Even as processing times improve, the number of visas per category is still limited, forcing USCIS to prioritize cases that meet the highest evidentiary standards. The broader context. This isn't just about numbers. The approval rate drop reflects a broader immigration climate shift. While the administration claims to promote merit-based immigration, the data shows that it's simultaneously tightening what merit means. Applicants are being held to more rigid definitions of national importance and extraordinary ability. That means even strong candidates might be receiving RFEs, not because they lack merit, but because the standards have been reinterpreted under a stricter lens. Top 10 countries, who's leading and who's falling behind. The country ranking for approved I-140 petitions continues to be dominated by India and China, together representing nearly half of all approvals. Following them are Nigeria, Brazil, and Russia, with steady but smaller shares. Interestingly, Iran moved up 2 positions this quarter, while Canada and South Korea slipped slightly. Bangladesh climbed into the top 5, overtaking South Korea. However, the real story lies not in who leads, but in how much everyone's numbers dropped. China saw 539 fewer approvals, and India 229 fewer, signaling that even the strongest applicant pools are being affected by the new adjudication climate. The backlog crisis. As of Q3 2025, USCIS is holding over 80,000 pending cases in EB-1 and EB-2 categories combined. To put that in context, the entire employment-based visa quota for a year is around 140,000. Each of these categories typically gets around 40,000 visas, so the backlog alone exceeds an entire year's quota. This imbalance means even approved applicants are waiting longer to move to adjustment of status or consular processing. The pace of adjudication has improved, but the output cannot catch up with demand. What does this mean for applicants? If you're planning to file under EB2 NIW or EB-1A, these trends are critical. The data suggests that preparation quality now matters more than ever. Cases that once passed with minor flaws are now getting RFEs or denials. This quarter proves that USCIS is demanding tighter documentation, more concrete evidence of achievements, and clearer connections to the U.S. national interest. For those considering self-preparation, double-check your petition structure. The officer must instantly understand your impact, proposed endeavor, and how your work benefits the U.S. In 2025, USCIS quietly began using predictive analytics to evaluate petition consistency. Their internal systems cross-check applicant data across multiple databases, including prior filings, publications, and even digital footprints. This AI-assisted screening helps flag inconsistencies before human officers review the case. While this can speed up clear approvals, it also increases denials when the system detects weak supporting evidence or repetitive claims. It's a quiet revolution in adjudication, one that's reshaping how officers make decisions in real time. Interpreting the trends. Statistically, both EB-1A and EB-2 NIW are below their 5-year averages. Yet EB-1A remains relatively stable, dropping only a few points. The steeper decline in EB-2 NIW may reflect an influx of applicants seeking refuge from other limited visa routes, hoping that NIW's flexibility will offer faster results. But more applicants doesn't mean more approvals, especially when standards rise simultaneously. This cycle of high demand and tough scrutiny has led to what analysts call the approval compression effect, where only the most airtight cases move forward. Adjudication and officer discretion. Even the strongest petition can still depend on one variable, the officer. Each officer has discretion, and that human factor can lead to variation in approval outcomes. Some officers are data-driven and strict on wording, others focus more on the overall impact narrative. This inconsistency, though frustrating, is a natural part of the process. It reinforces why documentation, clear logic, and precise evidence are non-negotiable. You don't just need to qualify, you need to prove it in a way that's unmistakable. Looking ahead. As we move toward the final quarter of 2025, early indicators suggest approval rates could decline further before stabilizing. Unofficial tracking platforms that analyze case activity predict the EB-2 NIW rate could dip below 50% in the next quarter. Still, the long-term view isn't entirely negative. With improved digital systems and backlog-focused hiring, USCIS may reach a balance. Fewer approvals now, but faster and more predictable outcomes in 2026 and beyond. Final thoughts. Remember, these numbers don't define your personal outcome. Every petition is unique. A strong, well-structured, well-argued case can still succeed in a strict climate. Use these trends as guidance, not discouragement. Stay informed, organized, and proactive, and you'll stay ahead of the curve. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next